Hello, welcome back to BSLIVE. In this episode, I'm feeling a little bit creative, so let's create something random. Let's try with a corner rectangle. So in Plasticity by default, it's usually you got a lot of snapping happenings, or maybe you want to turn that off to start with, and then when you're drawing with a tool, you draw a square, right, rectangle, and then you can shift R to repeat the tool. So I have the snapping turned off, so now it's a little bit easier to draw. So it's just a bunch of rectangle. Okay, let's we can leave it like this. So the procedures, the creative procedures is like this. You draw random shapes, right? And of course you can extrude and stuff. This time I will try something that I haven't used, trim. So with trim, you can actually trim a line or edges that is inside. So it's pretty unusual. If you wanna, but if you wanna make like some kind of maze, you can do it this way and design your maze until you're happy. Maybe even more, make more cuts. And then F, trim, and just trimming some things. Okay, let's say you're happy with this. If there's actually area that's totally enclosed, that means your maze is kind of close, so you probably need to trim a little bit more until you have like hollow areas. But it's totally up to you whether you want to have if your character walking around and you want your character to be trapped inside the maze, then yeah, you leave some areas totally trapped. So let's have that, something like that. And then now we have all this curve that we can just E and extrude. Okay, we can save this very quickly as maze test. So at this point, they're all just a bunch of sheet. I will select all the curve and then edge to hide it. I can select all the sheet, and we need to solidify the sheet. In Plasticity, the parasolid objects need to be like an actual solid, like it has some kind of thickness. So F, thicken the sheet will do the job for us. So you can have it like this, or you can hit tab and then it's gonna do the thickening in both sides, whatever you like. Maybe I should just keep it like this, keep it simple, and then right click. Now select all the solid and then Q, join them all. Apparently I have something that's separate. Okay, that's okay. Now we have some kind of design, and we can start doing like, make it rounded, things like that. If we go back, actually, before we do this, we can actually do a bevel, make some areas rounded. It's gonna have a different kind of design look. and then just extrude, select all the curve area, hide it, file save as, maze 2, and then F, thicken. So the whole thing is actually can be procedural if we are actually using geometry nodes. Every steps can be repeatable, you know, like it's becoming like some kind of procedures. So I just Q, combining everything. There's actually, okay, this guy is separate. Interesting. We can always join it. Okay, cool. Now, because this is a plasticity, okay, now let's hide this X-ray. We can still push and pull things around, right? So I think that's kind of cool. Okay, we can create openings as well with the corner box. Okay, I need to enable snapping. Corner box, now it's gonna snap on this face, so we can make openings. Shift R to repeat. So we have some kind of maze. I believe we can also still move things around. Maybe not that one. But let's say we want to have a nice opening. I'll show you interesting trick maybe. So we can draw a box here like that. Right click, right? Now this is just a box that's attached to this solid body. And the next thing we can do, okay, we can, yeah, we can make like a window, but we can also push this down, you know. Guess that's kind of interesting. Make it rounded. If you don't want to see any corner, then you can start to make some rounded areas. Do it both corner. I don't know if we can push this one. Oh yeah, okay, it works. That's kind of nice to be able to do that. So we got some kind of maze. So that's kind of nice procedures. So if you want to do something that's a little bit more random, you can also start with a F, just text object, right? Like I said, text object is just a bunch of curve in plasticity. So you can select curve, turn on just the edge selection mode, and then maybe just move things around like this. Okay, selecting and moving curve. I don't know if Plasticity have some kind of shortcut, so we don't need to left mouse G and then move things. It seems like a lot of work. Could be a little bit simpler. Like in Blender, you have like a tweak mode where all you need to do is just single mouse button and just drag. Oh, okay. We actually can select like this. Okay. Seems like, okay, there's a lot of overlap there. That's the letter T. So this is kind of graphic design, but I think in Plasticity you first be really comfortable with shapes and curve, and then later on when you're ready to do like some kind of sweeping and lofting, extruding and patching, that's when you get to the NURBS. Center circle. Okay, I can turn off snapping, just draw circle. It's pretty complicated. Now turn on enable snapping again. Maybe so you get a lot of these areas. Of course you can do like, okay, let's save this first. You can do the extrusion if you feel like doing this. That's also kind of fun. But if it's like a, you know, like a maze, you don't make, if you're making a city, you're just extruding, and you know, I think that's kind of fun too. You can delete, I guess you can delete areas. Shift X. No, cannot. The thing is that they're all just a bunch of curves, so you want to do trimming. See, you trim things away until you get just a bunch of sheet. Because you're creating like a maze inside a building, so if the area is totally enclosed, you don't have opening, so no one can get in. So that's, I think that's what I'm trying to show you in this video anyway. I think it's kind of fun in the way. It's kind of fun to trim things away, you know, making like something that's a little bit random. So if I don't know if in Plasticity maybe there is some kind of scripting areas that's kind of hidden. If we can script this, you know, delete areas with a trim tool, randomly select lines that's kind of covering areas, and they just trim away. Random trimming, you know, random select. Can we select randomly like in Blender? Maybe we should be able to do that in Plasticity. Let's see, trying to make opening, so let's just do that. This area is enclosed, so let's make opening, so nothing is locked away. F trim. I like this trim tool, so I will just add to favorites. So it's here now. Okay, I think that's enough. We almost lost everything. I don't know why. Just extrude up. Now we have this kind of form, and then F, and then thicken the sheet, which is the fun thing to do. We need to find this guy over here. Right click, select everything, try to combine it. If it's too complex, maybe Plasticity will complain. So not everything can be Boolean, because we are trimming too many things. In fact, it's a kind of silly. So we end up with a lot of objects that cannot be combined. Yeah, I guess we need to simplify. Yeah, but at this point it's really up to you if you want to extrude, you know. This you can extrude, okay. It's not that. This maze is not as beautiful as before. Too many curve. I think plasticity, it's better to keep it simple. So regular polygon maybe better than. Okay, let's turn off snapping. Regular polygon. You need to draw and right click. Left click, draw, and Shift R. Okay, anyway, yep, whole bunch of curve again and trim. Should have kept this simple. Trim away areas. See, this is better, simple. And yeah, just extrude. Hide. You can actually explode curves as well. Explode curve, and then you just push and pull the curves. They're all gonna be separated. Yeah, but anyhow, F, thicken. In this case, I can thicken in both sides. I don't know, I haven't tried this, right? So right click, join everything. Now we have all kind of weirdness happening. We can delete away curve that's inside like that. We get this weird corner. Yeah, I guess we can. So we can turn it into that shape. It's like magic. Let's do this again. So you get this weird corner, and I turn it into simpler corner, and then yeah, that's pretty neat. Yeah, it's a bit random. So let's try, actually, let's do this again. Text, plasticity. Okay, I'll just type in blend. Okay, we need to move this thing around. Okay, let's just select curve and then should be a lot simpler. Should be save maze. And select all, F, explode curve. Now every curve is separated. It's similar to trimming, but they're all separated. Maybe we can do the trimming at this point. So okay, select everything, extrude. We have this sheet selected and just thicken. So thicken in, seems to be working. Get all this solid, combine all, right click. It tries, but seems to be failing sometimes. Delete all this curve. Turn off X-ray. That's interesting. Okay, that seems to be working. Sometimes it's failing, probably around this area. If it's failing, maybe we can just delete some part that's too complicated. So this can be combined. Oh, it doesn't. Oh yeah, interesting. Maybe it's not a bug. It's probably because they are not connected. That's when we are doing the curve and then we are separating a lot of, we are exploding the curve, it's becoming all separated, so it's more complicated than the first one. But I guess this is it's an interesting experiment, I guess. It's definitely Blender Boolean can Boolean this a little bit easier, but I like the fact that we can quickly trim curves in Plasticity, I guess, and make like a, turn it into a sheet. And yeah, if I export this into Blender, maze, okay, file, import, okay, select all, RX minus 90, select all, we can Boolean, you can Boolean them all using geometry nodes. Okay, mesh Boolean, get collections, get this union, self intersections, collections contains current object. Okay, so look at this Blender Boolean. So this is our maze. So we are using grab all this collection info, mesh Boolean, self intersections, union. We can convert into mesh, just apply the Boolean and take a look. Now they are like regular polygon. It's no longer parasolid, so we can just extrude. At this point, maybe we switch to grid modeler or box cutter and start doing the cut. Right, so it's pretty random, but hopefully you find this useful. Yeah, Plasticity has very interesting way to deal with curve, and yeah, Blender has better booleans than Plasticity, because in Plasticity it needs to create parasolids, and with parasolid, of course, you can do some interesting things like pushing and pulling areas. Even though it's looking like non-manifold, but you can do this. probably the most interesting is this bevel. Blender can do it as well, but in Plasticity it seems I don't know. They both seem to be working hands in hands, I guess. So yeah, if you want to boolean everything, if you want to boolean your maze, then do it inside Blender. But doing things with curves, it's Plasticity is really good with that. Alright, so thanks again for tuning in. It's pretty random, this one. Hopefully you find it useful, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Bye.